Start in 1 minute.
Hariom sir.
Hari Om Sarita. Begin with the prayer. Sahana Bhavatu, Sahanau Bhunattu, Saha Viryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu Mavik Vishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामय सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखात् भाग् भवेत्. We pray for the happiness of one and all. May everyone be comfortable and happy at all levels of the personality, material, physical, emotional, intellectual. Spiritually, may we see that which is auspicious and divine. May there be no suffering anywhere. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Does anybody have any question? I mentioned we are doing a very important part of personality chart. Second, I'm just looking for a slide. In the previous week, we covered actor and action. We classified them into Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. We'll quickly go through a revision. Tamasic actor, he has no goal in life. He's not consistent. He's distracted. He has no culture and refinement. He's vulgar in his thought, word, and deed. So uses unnecessarily, you'll use bad language, abusive words. Even in thought, he's vulgar, stubborn and obstinate. If he's dealing with people, he can be deceptive, misleading, malicious, like robbers, thieves, beggars. They all fall under tamasic category. Lethargic and indifferent, despondent and depressed. Kuch nahi hoga, nothing will happen, always depressed in life, disheartened, dejected. Procrastinates, karenge, dekhenge. That's a tamasic actor. Wherever there is inaction, we must get into activity. And the change should start at the mental level. Only when our thoughts change, we will change. And once your thoughts change, action will happen automatically. Rajasic action is full of desires, ever impassioned, uncontrolled, endless desires. And while he's acting, he's constantly thinking and craving for the fruit of the action. It's a greed to acquisition and enjoyment. We say these are the two motivations of life. Everybody wants to acquire and enjoy. But Sattvic actor is content with what life brings him and he keeps acting. Rajasic actor, there is a greed, wants more and more and more, never content. Greed means never content. If anybody opposes him, he is hurtful. Tamasic actor will hurt anybody, even if you're not hurtful. A Rajasic actor, he is friends with you when you're not opposing, but he will be hurtful when you're opposing. Generally selfish and egoistic, constantly affected by joy and sorrow. Typical quality of Rajas. Worried about the past, anxious about the future. Very, very stressed out. What will happen? What will happen? So, but Rajas is much better than Tamas. Then we have Sattvic actor. He's not egoistic. He understands he's just a spoke in the wheel of life. So many people are contributing. He also understands he's just an instrument in the hands of God, not egoistic. Free from attachment. Doesn't crave for the fruit of action. In relationships, he's unselfish. He has universal love. He considers his home as the center of affection. He at the mental level, he reaches out to one and all. He's steadfast and dhriti, which means he has a higher goal. All his activities, emotional, physical, are all directed towards the goal. He's steadfast. He will take rest. He will have fun, but he will not do anything that will take him away from the goal that he has set for himself. So that is steadfastness. Utsaha and Dhriti. These are the two fantastic qualities. Dhriti, steadfast, he goes on and on and on like a river. A river never stops moving until he reaches the ocean. Similarly, he is steadfast, but while he is acting, he is full of enthusiasm, he is energetic, cheerful, and joyful. So when you have enthusiasm and cheer inside you, you spread that. Whatever you have inside, you spread that. So he is full of enthusiasm. That's a quality of a leader. He is consistent, Shraddha. He will not stop until his goal is reached. Disinterested in the result. The result of action means very little to him. Means he wants to be successful. He will do everything possible to be successful, but he finds his happiness in his own effort, not in the result. Understand, the result is not always in our hands. Rajasic actor is affected by joy and sorrow. Tamasic actor couldn't care less. He is indifferent to the result. It's negative. Here he is jumping with joy, sinking with sorrow. Sattvic actor feels the joy, feels the sorrow, but he is not affected. He remains balanced in joy and sorrow, success and failure, pleasure and pain. So that is actor. Any questions, anybody? Let me just change my second. Getting a back pain in this sofa. New, please. Right. We'll take up action. This one you ignore. Action. What is tamasic action? This action which is performed without proper knowledge. You're confused. You don't have the right knowledge and you still do it. Like giving medicine when you don't have medical knowledge. Any action when you're doing it in ignorance, no regard to one's capacity or ability. You pick up something very heavy and you hurt your back. As simple as that. Taking up an obligation when you don't have the capacity to fulfill it. No concern about its consequence. Just an impulsive action of the mind. No thinking at all. Heedless and irresponsible. Immature. Injury. Either you hurt others or you get hurt yourself, or both. Tamasic action. Offend human dignity and prestige. You lose your respect. You're humiliated. It's not living up to the dignity and prestige of a human being. Rajasic action, desire ridden, I want it, I want it, I want it, whether it's right or wrong, based on likes and dislikes. You just do what you feel like doing as opposed to what you ought to do. You will act only if the result is there, longing for the fruit of action. Compared to this, sattvic action is you just do what you're supposed to do with the awareness. Your action will deserve what it needs to, what needs to happen. You're not concerned about the fruit, but you're working towards the fruit. I am the doer, I am supreme, I alone exist. Rajasic actor, and Rajasic actor will perform Rajasic action. He performs action with the ego, kartritva bhavna. I am the doer. I do it all, ignoring the contribution of all others. Extremely stressed out. Effort is a lot, result is very little. Then the perfect action, sattvic action. You do what you ought to do, whatever is your obligatory duty and responsibility, whether you like it or not. Likes and dislikes are secondary. Obligatory duty and responsibility is primary. No attachment to action. If somebody better comes, you're more than happy to let it go. If you're not able to act for whatever reason, you're perfectly comfortable. You're self-sufficient, not dependent. Oh, unless I act, what will happen? Oh, if I am not there, what will happen? That kind of attachment is not there. No craving for the fruit of action, but action is going on. Perfect action without the craving for the fruit of action. Just do what you ought to do in life. No selfish attachment, no ego, no craving for the fruit. There is no anxiety for the fruit. He is clearly understanding that if we do our action well, result is automatic. It's by divine grace. So there is no anxiety for the result. When we do not have faith and understanding in the law of karma, we get anxious. Right. So two of them is covered. We revised it also. Next one. Renunciation. Why I am going to renunciation is renunciation, we believe, is giving up of action. But very, very interestingly, the definition of sattvic renunciation, sattvic giving up, and sattvic action, they're exactly the same. It's so fascinating. So, read from the text and then I'll show the slide. Tamasic renunciation. Tamasic renunciation is relinquishment of one's obligatory duties out of delusion. You are giving up what you're supposed to do, and that too in ignorance. It's a height of ego. I know family people, a person who is in the family suddenly comes, listens to a Vedanta lecture or something, misunderstanding it, gives up his obligatory duty. Dangerous. See, anything tamas, it will come out, it will come back and hurt you with a lot of bad karma. Tamas is bad karma. So you cannot give up your obligatory duties. You're giving it up here out of delusion. A human being has to perform two types of duties. One is his regular routine duties. Some goal you should have in life, whatever actions you need to perform towards that goal becomes your regular routine duties. Example, as a member of a family, society, nation. The other is occasional special duties. There is a marriage in your friend's house, or there is a marriage in the family. Neighbor's child is unwell. Neighbor's work car is not working properly, not functioning. Sometimes you have to go out of your way to help others. This going out of your way, it cannot become a lifestyle in the sense not all the time. Then what happens to your regular routine duties? Regular routine duties all the time. Occasional special duties is once in a while when the need arises. Your intellect says proportionately you can go. Occasional special duties cannot become your life. But in ignorance, he is confused as to his duty and responsibility and discards what ought to be done. So, tamasic renunciation is simple, simple in the sense, and that is not renunciation. Renunciation is sattvic renunciation. In tamasic renunciation, you're giving up something which you ought to do. You're giving up your duties and responsibilities. Higher than that means what? Rajasic renunciation is also wrong. Less suffering. In tamasic renunciation, extreme suffering. In rajasic renunciation, there is less suffering. In tamasic renunciation, he says he gives up, relinquishes. In rajasic renunciation, he is giving up action that is painful or out of fear of bodily strain or suffering. Classic cases, you see a six-pack body outside a gym, and you say, okay, I also need to get this kind of body. You go to the gym for 2 days, you say, no, what is in a six-pack? Not required. Or a boy or a girl wants to marry someone, a partner. Boy wants to marry a girl wants to marry a boy. And the other person is not, accepting the proposal. And the boy or the girl takes it. What is in a marriage? Did Christ marry? Did Vivekananda marry? So you're giving up because the desire is not getting fulfilled. You don't have the capacity to fulfill the desire. The moment the boy or the girl turns back and says, okay, I agree to marry you, all that renunciation will go. So it's giving up because of pain and suffering involved. Not giving up because it's the right thing to do. Not giving up because he still has a lot of value. But because of the fear of pain, he gives it up. In rajasic renunciation, one would take up the action when the element of pain or fear of suffering is removed. So you give up, you stop doing something out of fear of suffering. Some people love sports, but they won't play it because they are afraid there will be jagada, fights, quarrels. Ball fell on this side or that side. So to avoid the quarrel, they give up the activity itself. That's not growing. Renunciation helps you to grow. Consequently, the fruit of true renunciation is deprived. When you give up because of fear of pain or suffering, then you don't grow. And that's not giving up. We'll go back to sattvic action. What is sattvic action? Action is based on obligatory duty and responsibility. It's not an action based on personal like and dislike. There is no attachment to action. You perform the action without any craving for the fruit. You just do what you ought to do in life without any selfish attachment or anxiety for the fruit. Just do what you ought to do without worrying about anything else. Now, what is sattvic renunciation? Sattvic renunciation is relinquishment of attachment and fruit while performing obligatory duties. Actually, the scripture, the Gita says, sattvic renunciation is performing obligations without attachment or craving for the fruit. So what is interesting is, in tamasic renunciation, the word giving up is used, giving up of obligatory duties. In rajasic renunciation, giving up of action is used. But in sattvic renunciation, the actual Sanskrit says, sattvic renunciation is performing obligations without attachment, without the fruit, without craving for the fruit. Practice of sattvic renunciation is functioning objectively in the world, merely fulfilling obligatory duty and responsibility. No ego, no desire for the fruit. Fruit will come automatically. Result will happen automatically. This is my role. This is what I need to do. This is my obligatory duty and responsibility. I will do it to the best of my ability. There is no preferential attachment to action performed. Just doing what you ought to do. No, I like to do this. No, I don't like to do this. The intellect calls the shot. No expectation of enjoyment of the fruit thereof. You can enjoy the fruit, but the mind is not craving. It is therefore not renunciation of action as such. It is renunciation in action. While you perform action, there is a spirit of renunciation. Ironically, sattvic renunciation is defined as performance of action that ought to be done without the appendages burdening it. What is the appendages? Attachment, ego, and the desire or craving for the fruit. So I'll show you the chart. Tamasic renunciation. Sorry, this is happiness, is it? Tamasic renunciation. Giving up of obligatory duties out of delusion. Just a revision, a recap in a different form. That was text, this is PowerPoint. Discard what ought to be done. There are two types of duties. You give up the two types of duties, occasional, special duty, and routine, regular duty. If you don't perform that, that is tamasic renunciation. What is rajasic renunciation? Giving up something which requires effort, which is painful. That's only one point. Give up something not while you still have a value for it. You want it, but for whatever some reason, because it will cause pain or it requires a lot of effort to get it, you say, I don't want it. But you still have a value for it. That that object of being, if it comes, it'll produce a great joy. If that object of being doesn't come, it'll produce great sorrow. So you still have a value for it, but to avoid pain, you give it up. It's a negative way of growing. Whereas sattvic, renunciation, it's performance of action in a spirit of renunciation. I will do everything that is in my capacity. I'll do it with enthusiasm. I'll do it with my heart and soul. Doesn't matter what comes out of it. We are not craving for the fruit of action. Not renunciation of action. I don't want anything. Why lack? I'm doing it to reach my goal. Let's say my goal is to spread Vedanta, share this knowledge with one another. So I go all out and do what needs to be done. Thereafter, what happens, I'm not interested in that. Doesn't matter what comes out of it. So it is renunciation in action. In Sattvic, in Rajasic, I want. Okay. That is renunciation. Anybody? Any question? So we have done actor, we have done action, we have done renunciation. Intellect. We need to develop the intellect. But intellect can also rob a bank. So we need good values. A strong intellect developed with good values will be sattvic intellect. Tamasic intellect, it's an intellect which doesn't have right knowledge. It's shrouded in ignorance. Just the opposite. It regards unrighteous as righteous. It's okay to use vulgar language. It's okay not to work. It's okay to have an attitude, minimum work, maximum profit. So what is clearly wrong? It considers adharma to be dharma. Understands vice as virtue. It's completely ulta. Hate. The religion says no hatred for any being. Tamasic intellect will say it's okay to hate. Regards wrong as right. Views everything perverted. Ulta, perverted. It leads you towards destruction. Tamas is dangerous. Tamasic intellect will lead to destruction. Rajasic intellect is much better. Much better, but it still gives a wrong understanding of what is righteous and unrighteous. In Tamas, there is no doubt that unrighteous is right. Here, there's a misunderstanding, an erroneous concept of virtue and vice. In Rajas, you have a potential to re-examine what you think and correct yourself. In Tamas, there is no re-examination at all. It is only through suffering the person will wake up. In Tamas, person will wake up only through suffering. In Rajas, there is a possibility he may understand that he's thinking incorrectly and get onto the right mode of living. It wrongly interprets the ethical and unethical values of life. knows not the obligatory duties and responsibility in lives, and errs in the performance of action. So, realistic intellect is not a clear type of intellect. We don't really have to worry about rajasic intellect or tamasic intellect. What we need to worry about is develop a sattvic intellect. And the sattvic intellect is developed by association with right knowledge, by studying the scriptures properly under somebody's guidance. Because if you study the scriptures on your own, you can misinterpret it and you will not know. And once you learn it from somebody who has been experienced or who has been taught, like some of us, then you think clearly, you gain the right knowledge, and you will develop the sattvic intellect. You can't really avoid tamasic and rajasic intellects because if you are in that zone, you will not know. So your best bet is keep your shutters of learning open and keep learning, keep correcting yourself. So sattvic intellect is pretty big. So sattvic has clarity of thought. Can you see the note on the screen? I keep asking about it.
Yes, sir.
You can see the note. This one, sattvic has clarity of thought.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So sattvic has clarity of thought. Rajasic is confused. Tamasic considers wrong to be right. So they are what we say perverted. What is wrong, they clearly say it's right. Rajasic is confused. So there is a chance if they're aware of the confusion, they'll correct themselves. Sattvic has perfect knowledge. Saying, and my notes, the whole world may stand against you, but you must have the courage and conviction to follow what you think is right. Doesn't matter what the world, family, astrologers are saying. You can spend your entire life pleasing them. You cannot live for others' sake. Learn to say no, sorry. In a sense, the whole idea is you got to think for yourself and be thine own self be true. If you are true to yourself, if you are true to your conviction and conscience. So conviction is something that is developed by the intellect. So if you have a tamasic intellect or rajasic intellect, you will develop the wrong conviction. Terrorism is the right thing to do. Some kind of conviction you have. But sattvic intellect will give you the right conviction. You got to be true to your own conviction. You must have the courage to follow your conviction. So what is sattvic intellect? It clearly distinguishes between paths of action and renunciation. What is to be avoided and what is your obligated duty. The sattvic intellect is clear about it. If I am a member of a family, I can't give it up unless they are self-sufficient. Till then, you have to live the life of a grahastha. Any field. You can give me examples. The intellect will know what to give up, what not to give up. When you see, you may study the highest scriptures and get this idea that self-realization is the ultimate goal in life. And to realize the self, we have to only think of Atman Brahman, and we don't have to avoid samsara as much as possible. See, as long as you tend to get affected, as long as you have desires, you cannot not act. You have to act. In and through action, we have to give up. We have to give up. We have to rise above affectation, and through in and through action, we have to allow life to bring whatever you desire. So no point saying, "Oh, I'm above. I don't have any desire. Why to get into this activity?" No, sattvic intellect knows. Be true to yourself. The fact that you get affected in a particular area means there is a desire for that area. So in that area, fix obligatory duties and pursue it. Sattvic intellect chooses the field of activity which is most suitable to one's inherent nature, swadharma. Sattvic intellect will say, no, I'm not going to do something in which I have no interest. I'm saying as a career, as a field of activity in which you are spending most of your time. Here and there, somebody needs help. No, no, no. I am a doctor. I only do medicine. It's not like that. You're ready to help others. You're ready to be unselfish. You're ready to be helpful. But as the field in which you're spending most of your time, which is where we go to office and work, most that should be based on one's inherent nature. Swadharma. If you are doing paradharma, you'll be frustrated. You'll be stressed out. If you're doing sadharma, you'll do well. Mentally, you will be peaceful. Swadharma in the right attitude. It rejects anything paradharmic. Having chosen the right field, it further decides what ought to be done and what ought not to be done. So Sattvic intellect is clear. This is to be done, this is not to be done. Sattvic intellect does one's obligatory duties and responsibilities in life. Sattvic intellect directs you to fulfill them. Avoid involvement in activity outside this sphere. So, activity should be what is my duty and responsibility. Just do what you ought to do. Anything else can be avoided. Just because you feel like doing, if it is harmless, if it is not taking you away from your goal, you can do what you feel like. But the moment your likes and dislikes are becoming harmful and taking you away from the goal that you have set for yourself, then you have to say no. That is, avoid involvement in any activity outside the sphere of taking you towards a goal. You can rest, you can recreate yourself, you can do everything, but don't compromise with the goal. A human being alone faces the problem of choosing his course of action. Should I eat roti or should I eat ragi roti? Should I eat biryani or should I have Chinese? Should I marry or not marry? Vegetarian or non-vegetarian? Should I attend the class or not attend the class? Every moment there is a dilemma. No other creature has a dilemma. No creature except save the human has this dilemma. Tiger, if it's hungry and if there is a deer, it will attack and eat. If it is not hungry, it will not eat. So all other creatures, their lives are fixed. They don't have a dilemma of choice. Human life, am I to operate from the level of the mind? Am I to operate from the level of the intellect? Intellect also can be sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. So, sattvic is the main thing. We covered tamasic and rajasic, right? Tamas ulta, rajas is confused, sattvic is the real intellect. All other creatures follow distinct patterns of life according to their individual nature, ordered as it were, fixed. Cannot change it. They live, all animals except human beings, all other living creatures except human beings, live without a choice. Whereas the human being has been given the freedom of choice. William Shakespeare, in his play Hamlet, highlights the dilemma of choice in his oft quoted words, to be or not to be, that is the question. Am I to do this or do that? Should I do or not do? Constantly we are in this dilemma of choice. So when we have the spiritual knowledge and a clear intellect, you're not confused. You know exactly what you need to do. You know exactly what you need to avoid. All that helps you take you towards the self, do it. All that which helps you take you towards your goal, do it. Make sure your goal is in line with your swadharma and your development. All that which helps you promote your spiritual evolution, do it. Taking you towards the self, do it. Swamiji used to keep saying this thing. If anything takes you towards the self, grab it. If anything is taking you away from the self, throw it away. That's the dilemma. Now, what should I do? If it makes you a better human being, do it. If it makes you a evil human being, drop it. Makes you more egoistic, don't do it. You know, makes your ego go down, accept it. Somebody is insulting, not that you have to go and get insulted. Face it. It's okay. Let the ego get crushed. If the ego is crushed, you're fulfilling your mission in life. That understanding must be there. Um, Why are you protecting your ego? So anything that helps you dissolve your ego, anything that helps you dissolve your desires, anything that helps you discharge your duty and responsibility, don't give up. Anything which is negative, causes pain and suffering, you give up. Sattvic intellect also understands what is to be feared and what ought not to be feared. People are scared to attend spiritual discourses thinking they have to give up everything. They're afraid of the wrong things. I don't know. So we have the youth camp. I've been messaging on the group. Uh, Sometimes parents don't want to send their children to youth camp because they think that, oh, they will become a sannyasi or they'll become some sadhu. What what will save their life? What will give them direction in their life? What will help them develop a strong intellect? That only we are denying. What's to be feared and not to be feared. All excessive indulgences have to be feared. But we want more and more indulgence. Tamas has to be feared, but we want rest. Rest after finishing the work, not rest before finishing the work. Certain facets of the world are dreadful. Drugs, fear it. They are detrimental, even fatal. Other facets are beneficial and valuable. Many people in the world quote what is fearful and repel what is not. For instant pleasures, we don't know where it will take us. They would freely indulge in the deadly senses, but dread to pursue the path of knowledge and renunciation. So has Alexander Pope observed. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. So, whatever is your goal in life, are you doing it or not? Don't give up what you think is the right thing for you. Pursue it, pursue it. Doesn't matter what others think. So, we covered choose duty. Don't give up your duty. The Sattvic intellect knows what is duty, what is likes and dislikes. Sattvic intellect knows the dilemma. Should I do this or that? What will help you evolve? Sattvic intellect also understands um, what is to be feared and what not to be feared. Anything that promotes indiscipline should be feared. But we are afraid of discipline. No, I don't want to be controlled. If you are disciplined, you will be happy. If you are indisciplined, you will become cranky. Your mind will start demanding more and more and more. See, the whole trick, remind yourself or think about it. The whole trick is happening with the mind. You can be perfectly happy and calm with whatever you have, wherever you are. If you just know how to handle the mind, you'll be very, very happy. Observe with little children. They are playing with a tire, with a stick. There's a big smile on the face. The little child doesn't know that only an expensive car is going to give him happiness. So, in any situation, it's how you relate to that situation. You can have the best of things, you can be the most richest person, and if the thought is egoistic, what will happen to me, what will happen to me, you will become miserable. It's how you relate to the situation. In the best of things, mind can be disturbed. In the worst of circumstances, the mind can be graceful and happy. This is what it is, and be happy. So it's all about how you handle the mind. And so the Sattvic intellect knows how to handle the mind, what to choose, what not to choose, what is to be feared and what not to be feared. So I was saying discipline is not enough. You should not be afraid of discipline. You should be afraid of taking loans because of the interest. All this personal loan, personal loans, they'll tempt you to take the loan. But then you consult a proper investment guy person, he will tell you you're paying money, you end up paying double of the product. Pay 3,000 a month and get the iPhone. If you really calculate the number of installments of 3,000, you are paying for maybe two phones. So what a Sattvic intellect knows what is to be What is to be afraid of? People, we end up choosing the wrong company. It's a strange psychology. We choose people who will um, we avoid, we neglect our benefactors, people who will do good to us, and we happily quote friends who will destroy us. Bad friends have to be avoided. Bad friends means people who are engaging in activities which will see if you have a weakness and you are choosing friends who will encourage that weakness, that is to be feared. Choose friends who will help you evolve. They may scold you also, but that is the right thing to do. We are afraid of we foolishly, we are afraid of the right things. Macbeth killed King Duncan, who was his benefactor, and he never slept again. And next is freedom and bondage. That's why we need knowledge to think. We feel freedom means doing whatever we feel like doing. If you do whatever you feel like doing, the mind will become like a devil inside you, all the time wanting whatever it wants. But freedom is whether we like it or not, whether we feel like doing or not, keep doing what you ought to do. Controlled mind is peaceful. There's a topic in the Bhagavad Gita, sixth chapter of the Gita. A controlled mind is peaceful. If you let the mind loose, uncontrolled mind will never be peaceful. So, what is freedom and bondage? Freedom is when you have perfect control over your likes and dislikes. You become bound to your own mind if you keep on doing what you feel like doing. Freedom is not in pampering the body, mind, intellect. The more you pamper the body, mind, intellect, it's not like you neglect the body, mind, intellect. You have to take care of your body, mind, intellect. But if you pamper the body, mind, intellect, the demands of the body, mind, intellect is endless. Detached from the body, mind, intellect, attuned to the self, that is true freedom. But we feel if body, mind, intellect is catered to, that is freedom. No, we are becoming bound. Another serious problem that human faces is self-inflicted bondage. I am this body, I am this mind, I am this intellect. I must use the world to constantly cater to my body, mind, intellect. I'll do what I feel like doing. That is bondage. He has lost the freedom of the self by getting attached to the body, mind, intellect. Sattvic intellect draws the distinction between bondage and liberation. What is true liberation? Doesn't matter what happens to my body, mind, intellect. I couldn't care less. Then you're free because the world can affect only the body, mind, intellect. Christ was being crucified. He said, Father, forgive me. They know not what they do. He was free from his body. A person who is very attached to the body, take a needle, takes an injection, he runs away. So, attachment to the body is bondage. You get attached to the body by constantly catering to the body. Not the body. Take care of the body. Body is taking you from experience to experience. Take care of the body, but don't over pamper it. Don't neglect it, but don't over pamper it. It is an instrument in the journey of life. It is a vehicle that is carrying you. Give it its right importance, not undue importance. Give it its right value, not black market value. So by constantly pampering the body, mind, intellect, we become bound. Whatever happens to the body, mind, intellect happens to us. It's a very, very important uh, concept to keep on reminding ourselves till it sinks in. What is true freedom? True freedom is whatever happens to the body, mind, intellect, I am not affected. You get attached to the family, whatever happens to the family happens to me. You're bound to the family. You're bound to the body. You're bound to your name, fame, reputation. If you're able to tell yourself whether respect comes or dishonor comes, I'm not going to make my happiness depend on that. Nobody wants disrespect. But if it comes, if you're too attached to respect, you're lost your freedom. Doesn't matter what the world says, I will do what I have to do. My freedom is in my attunement to the self. My freedom is in my spiritual disciplines, and my freedom is in my sadhana. And my freedom is doing what I can do, what I ought to do, that which is in my control. Rest of it, I'm not going to let my happiness depend on it. By understanding what is bondage and liberation, it exposes the human weakness in attaching oneself to the body, mind, intellect. In being enslaved by action and perception, emotion and thought. It provides one the clarity to recognize the glory and grace of the self within. This is our duty and obligation. I don't know why I was feeling a little sleepy during the class. I'm inspired to take the class, but during the class I was feeling sleepy. I was wondering why. This line has woken me up completely. We must beat. Sattvic intellect has the clarity to recognize the glory and grace of the self within. We have to wake up to the self. Self will wake you up. See, one part of life is doing our duty and obligations, but you can do it with a lot of ego and you can do it with a lot of expectations. So we must move from tamas, inaction, to proper action, to action, and then proper action is just do what you have to do without ego, without expectation, as unselfish as possible, as carefully as possible, as efficiently as possible. All that is fine. So that is what is chitta shuddhi. It's important part of life. Doing what you have to do with the right mental attitude. Doing is must. With the right mental attitude, it becomes sattvic. But then real sattva is when you are able to become spiritual. And how do you become spiritual? By recognizing the glory and grace of the divine everywhere. Sanish, simple things. You have to, each one have to give your own example, but you must sort of this awareness of the self must be full, completely full. It's never enough is never enough. Worldly desires, we said, okay, I'm thank you, this much no more. You can be content with your worldly needs, but with respect to seeing the grace and divinity everywhere, there's no limit to it. The more you see, the more you will seek it. We pursue something which we value. Now, if we don't have the value for the self, then how will we pursue it? We must develop a sense of adoration, respect, regard for the self. Everything is happening because of the grace of the self. Monsoon comes, goes. Temperature outside, temperature inside. Temperature inside is 98.4% of the life. Right. Only here and there, few days, your temperature goes up and down. Right? First time I'm saying this. Our temperature is 98.4% of our life. Only 1% of the days, the fever goes up and down. Who is maintaining it? The eyes are seeing 10,000 million calculations per second. We don't even know. We have to practice detachment. Sometimes the retina detaches. Why is the retina detaching? See, retina detaches, you don't know. One guy I met recently, it so happened his retina detached and he was seeing everything dark. And when that happened, in the family, there was a wedding going on. So he is telling his family members, all light jalao, put more light, put more light. The family member is saying, you are old fashioned, you want bright floodlights. This is soft light is whatever, it's what do you call it? Soft light is soft light. You should not be too loud. No, this fellow was not seeing so he was seeing everything dark. The wedding got over, he's still seeing dark. Then they realize there's something wrong with the eyes. So many things can go wrong with the cornea, with the retina, with the cerebral cortex. All this is functioning. How? Divine grace. Kidney is given. One person can donate the kidney and still survive for many years. We need maybe 3/4 of the kidney. We have been given 200%. Grace of God. The body is constantly fighting the foreign particles. That's why sometimes temperature goes up to kill the bacteria. Anything, any foreign particle functions, even the eye, something goes, the body knows how to take it out. We overeat, the system will digest. Lungs, heart, pancreas, liver, everything is functioning to its optimum capacity. Glory and not human, anything that is untouched by human beings is the glory and what is that? Glory and grace of God. Type of action we will do is our duty, but the fact that there is the divine electricity enlivening us, glory and grace of God. Without the divine, eyes cannot see, ears cannot hear, no digestion, no respiration, no nervous system, nothing means nothing will function in the macrocosm or in the macrocosm. The earth is revolving at a frantic speed, but it doesn't go too near the sun or too far away from the sun. When it's near the sun, summer. Near away from the sun, winter. But the thousands of degrees hot the sun is, by the time the sun rays comes to the earth, it is manageable. 10 to 50 degrees. Glory and grace of God. So many different types of fruits. 500 varieties of mangoes only. That itself is mind. You go for a chakkar. So many varieties of rice. This rice and that rice and brown rice and red rice. Glory and you can see it everywhere. Go to the market. How many different colors of vegetables, how many different colors of fruits, how much different tastes, how beautifully the flower blossoms, how beautifully it unfolds. Oxygen supply is not switched off even for 5 seconds. Forget 1 minute, भूल गया. अरे आज ऑक्सीजन चालू करना था क्या? Miscommunication between gods. Which god had to switch it on? अरे तू नहीं किया. I thought you will do it. तू नहीं किया. What? All living Earth, everybody is dead. Why? 1 minute oxygen supply was denied. That power doesn't switch off. UPS. Completely uninvolved. So I'm saying this is very. So one part is all the world is a stage. All men and women are mere players. We have a role to play. Play your role how? Like a sattvic actor with utsaha and dhriti. Go on fighting the challenges of the world within a spirit of enthusiasm, cheerfully, energetically, with determination. Then bring in the devotional part of it. Contemplate upon the glory and grace of the self. That will give you true freedom. Infatuation, if we are all the time recognizing the glory and grace of the world, glory and grace of wealth, power, name, fame, if we are recognizing the glory and grace of worldly things, we will get attached to the body, mind, intellect. We will lose our freedom. Self alone is the seat of true liberation. Free from the persecutions of the world. Freed from the bondage, the sattvic intellect directs a seeker towards spiritual enlightenment. Bondage is being caught up in worldly affairs. I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. That is bondage. So from that point, any relationship, whether it's family or business, we say samsar. Samsar, you get caught up in it. Then you're bound to it. If you start something, you have to can't just start an ashram or start a business and then stop it. And you are bound to that. You have to do it. So we say don't take up unnecessary samsar. If you are we get into relationships because we lack self-sufficiency. Now, if you go on multiplying your relationships, you're getting bound and bound and bound. You're creating more and more obligated duties. You get bound. So we say it's like getting inside the ocean. It's very beautiful to play with the waves. But when you go deep inside, you get caught up. Or entering a forest. In the beginning of the forest, the nice birds are chirping and nice flowers, nice smell, nice this. You go deep inside the jungle, you get lost, and then there are wild animals. So Samsara is like that. When you need a relationship because of lack of self-sufficiency, you enter it, but you start using it to free yourself, not to remain get bound. How are you using your worldly relationships, whether family or business? That can be source of extreme bondage and attachment. I can't do without my family. I can't do without my business. Or I have entered into this relationship, or I find myself in this uh, bondage. Now, by activating karma bhakti jnana, by uh, by performing the actions with unselfish, unegoistic attitude, you use that to free yourself. So, sattvic intellect has the right awareness to distinguish what is bondage, what is true freedom. Person without knowledge, we all feel, I'll do whatever I feel like doing. Don't restrict my freedom. Who are you to tell me what I should do? That person is getting more bound because then his mind dictates terms. Mind is dictating terms. I only like some winter, 9 months is agitated. So by just doing what you feel like doing, you become bound to the mind. Thereafter, you lose the flexibility to adjust and adapt to the changing world. But when we keep a control over the likes and dislikes, when we don't do what we feel like doing, but we do it under the guidance of the intellect. Simple as the mind will always, you like pizza, have it. You like pizza, will have it. The intellect says nothing wrong in having pizza, but don't have it all the time. Overindulging, mind will never say don't overindulge. It's the intellect will say. So by overindulging in our mind's desires and likes and dislikes, we become bound. But by regulating and being disciplined, you're not losing your freedom. Finally, if you get rid of that desire, you're completely free. Pakistan is playing Afghanistan. Will you be attached? How does the result matter? It doesn't matter who wins or who loses. I'm just saying. But when there is attachment, oh, India is playing Pakistan, mar gaya. We are bound to the result. So wherever there is desire and attachment, we are bound. I'm not saying that we should not support India. Of course, India is playing up any country. We will be passionate about it. But how does detachment? It's not in our hands. If India loses, it's part of life. The die will be done. That's what has happened. Attachment. No, India only has to win. India has to win every match. India loses, we are uh, bound to the result. You can support your country, but be free from the uh, attachment to the result. Now, this alone should happen. If this alone should happen means when the world doesn't cater to you, you're gone. Anything can happen. I'm okay, but I will continue my effort. And the effort is to develop a sattvic intellect. So, quick summary. Where is sattvic intellect? I just thought it's easier to. One second. Just thought it's easier to first go in the sequence of the in which I'm taking. Just it really, if you have to cover everything. I just thought the sequence is more important. Tamasic intellect. So everything is ulta. Not studying is good. Hitting others is good. No, abusive language is good. Considers adharma as dharma. So what is ulta? It has no doubt that is right. Rajasic intellect at least is confused. Wrong understanding of what ought to be done. This is important. Many people will fall under rajasic intellect because it has no sight of what is the mission of life. Rajasic intellect thinks happiness is chasing material acquisition and indulging in sensual pleasures. So rajasic intellect will guide a human being. That's a rajasic mind, typical rajasic intellect. This is what is right. Their intellect will tell this is what is right. Don't Work for money. Not don't work for money. Work for the fruit. Chase the world. Name, fame, power. This is life. They will pursue it, and they'll make the children pursue it also. Whereas sattvic intellect, what is to be done, what is not to be done. Stay away from adharma. Stay away anything which will give bad karma. Stay away from unnecessary risk. Perform activities which are helpful to the world, which are helpful to you in your journey. Avoid paradharma, follows swadharma. Correctly understands what ought to be done. Understands what is to be feared and what is not to be feared. Where we will incur suffering from the divine law, that has to be feared. Rajas and tamas has to be feared. Fools rush in where angels thread to touch. Clearly understand bondage and liberation. So, last point should have been there. Sattvic intellect never loses sight that the mission of life is to detach from the body, mind, intellect, and attune to the self. That vision Sattvic intellect clearly has. I must use the body, mind, intellect to become more unselfish, to liquidate my ego and attune to the self. I must use my body, mind, intellect to perform the spiritual disciplines so that I can get back to the self. That will give me true freedom. Right? Any questions, anyone? Audio was clear.
Yes, can I ask a question? That can you just clarify that
Sorry,
Saha and
yes.
Vrid?
Sorry?
Saha and Vrid. What you mean by that?
Which one?
Earlier on, you said Saha for one, something over there, and Vrid or Drid. You use those two words. In what context you used it?
Which one?
Saha and Drid.
Utsaha and Dhriti.
Utsaha.
Utsaha. Oh, sorry,
Utsaha
I didn't
and
hear
Dhriti.
that. Oh, Drid. Okay,
Utsaha.
I got it.
Utsaha and
Thank you.
Dhriti is you have that in the 18th chapter of the Gita. Around the I can show it to you.
No, don't worry, Guruji.
Not right? Okay. Sattvic
I
actor,
will.
Utsaha is Utsaha and Dhriti. Dhriti is consistency of purpose until the goal is reached. Utsaha is an enthusiasm in life, you're not functioning with burden and no enthusiasm. You are enthused.
Do you know what verse it is in the Bhagavad Gita? Do you know what verse?
Yes. 1 second. I'll show it. 18th chapter.
Okay, you don't know the verse number.
Around 25. 1 second.
Okay, I'll check it out. I just want to get more information on that. Thank you very much, Basabji, for the wonderful session. Very gratefully appreciated.
Okay. Thank you, Chan. Soni?
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. Tell me.
Okay. So my question to you is that, okay, so you said tamasic intellect is they don't know what they are doing. They are doing it in ignorance. Right? Correct
Not
me
only
if
they
I'm
don't
wrong.
know, they feel they know.
Yeah.
They are
So now there is, okay. So the question is, okay, I need money. So I go for a job. I do because I need money for survival, but I'm not happy and it's making me more miserable. I'm turning into a mechanical thing. I'm not able to feel and I know this is not what I want to do, but I need money for survival. I'm still going on and going on. So how do we explain that person and I'm feeling suppose in my family or only I'm seeing that person who's not he she is miserable, that person is miserable and but they have to do because they need money and they don't know what they are doing, but they uh, you understood, I think. So
my question is, you want to explain it to somebody else or you want to explain it to yourself?
to someone else.
That is difficult. The other person must be willing to listen to you.
Yeah, that person will be willing to listen to me.
Okay, so basically, see, if we everybody needs money, so money will not come out of clouds will not give money,
Trees.
right? It will come out of our own karma. So when we have to do karma, we say choose your karma which you love to do, your swadharma, something in which you're passionate about, and then do it with the right attitude. That with there is so much that I'm receiving from the world. Everybody is playing their role. The farmers are doing their role. The plumbers are doing their role. The doctor is doing their role. Everybody is playing the role. The family is doing something. The construction workers are preparing the role. Everybody doing something. Let me also do something. So out of gratitude, out of love, out of wanting to serve, if in the right field, if you serve with the right attitude, then you'll no longer be mechanical. In fact, you will get the right. See, mechanical happens when you're just like a functioning like a robot. But if you understand
Yeah, for
your
the
function,
sake of doing. For the sake of
you,
doing.
you should function out of gratitude. You should function out of love. You should be inspired that I will do something and find satisfaction and joy in it. If I'm mechanically taking the class, after the class I'm bored,
Drained.
drained, then I'm doing it mechanically. There must be that, okay, I have this knowledge, we share it with others. I'm grateful that so many other things are happening. So, what can I do to the world? So, you use your talent to serve in a particular field, you do it with love and gratitude, then it will no longer be mechanical. It will be energizing. You can take a break, you can take rest, but you are looking forward to work. So, money will come from karma. Karma, you have to do it with the right attitude. Otherwise, you will not be able to do it after a while. You will stop. So the
Yeah,
right
but the
attitude
I
comes
think
with awareness
huh,
and knowledge. That person has to gain some awareness. Why is karma important? Or you see so many things are happening, so many people are helping you achieve anything. You have to contribute. Everybody has to contribute.
but it's coming from the fear of money. If I don't earn, uh where will I get money? What will I do? How will it will happen? So
The fear is natural. If money is not there, what will happen? That fear is natural. So what do? You remain, you have to overcome the fear and do something which will attract money, which is work. So you work smart, you gain more knowledge, you work hard, and you so one person works without fear. One person is afraid. How do you combat that fear? You tackle it. You go to the root cause, you tackle it. I'm afraid if what will happen if money doesn't come. So I must do something to get money. So get onto the karma. The more you will do karma, that fear will not bother you. If you don't do karma, the more fear will bother you. So initially, we have to get into karma to avoid these negative feelings, avoid affectations. Karma, if you do in the right manner, will generate positive feelings. Will give you generate a sense of satisfaction. So constantly associate with right knowledge, and out of that right knowledge, perform right actions. Then it's not mechanical means the mind is just doing without the proper inspiration, proper feeling,
proper values.
and just for the just for the money is important. For which what you need to do.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Thank you. We'll end with the prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.